it also gets back to what is enlightenment, what is, breaking through the illusions. And one of the things I found very refreshing in doing the book was the extent to which, once I really got to know these people, they talked about, the inner workings of what was going on with their meditation, etc. But, the common refrain is that you get a glimpse of something. Some people will eventually break through it all, and then it fundamentally changes and never changes back. But for most of us, even if we're at an advanced meditative stage, we may get a brief glimpse. As the former druid you mentioned a moment ago said, we're sparks, but between the sparks there's an empty space, and that's where God is. And we'll get a glimpse of that empty space, and then we're back to where we were. But now we had a sense of it, so we can move forward.
Yeah, and those glimpses leave a residue. They leave an impression, and the residue can build and build. So I think for most people, there are numerous intermittent glimpses, but then preceding, perhaps not always, but preceding an eventual permanent shift.
No, I was going to say, and across the board, I don't mean to keep coming back to the book, but I talked to 10 people. These are ordinary human beings, as it were, not on the spiritual bestseller list, not household names, but went down a deeply, profoundly spiritual path. And all of them talk about how long this process was, and how they had to remain committed to it, and how easily it would be to shift off. And some will say, ultimately will tell you, yeah, I got that breakthrough and it stayed with me. And it has fundamentally changed everything. Others a little more modest about it. But the bottom line is that they tell us, the rest of us, that, you can reach through that veil. You can get that brief snap of inspiration. Andrew Harvey, who we mentioned before, was a renowned mystic, obviously, and written many, many books, says that this is within the grasp of all of us. We just need to sit down, settle down, listen, and be serious about it, and not be spiritually promiscuous. Because again, one of the things that all of these people talk about is not that their tradition has truth, has ultimate truth, but that all of them say that no matter which path you take, when you get to the mountaintop, you are in the same place. And that getting to that place requires you to be anchored in at least one, or in a tradition. You can learn from other traditions, but you need that anchor. Tenzin Palmo said, if you don't have that anchor, if you're not rooted in a tradition, and you have these kinds of spiritual breakthroughs, you don't know what to do with them, and it can really screw you up.